if this video does get 100 likes, I will do a full odds green shiny only video. Alright, ask and you shall receive. Let's keep this simple. I'm only going to be using Pokemon that has a green shiny. If they faint, they're off the team. We have to stick to the level cap of the next gym leader, Team Star Boss or Titan. No items are going to be used in battle. Set battle mode is in play. And lastly, I want you guys to guess the nickname theme for this video. Alright, that all clear? Let's jump into this. I named my character Verd and head off to pick up our starter, which is shiny locked. So we take Sprigatito so that we can use it to breed hunt later on. We then head into the school, meet Arvin and Nimona, which also unlocks the Path of Legends, Victory Road and Starforce Street. We also pick up the keys to our magic bike here too. So I actually started this series when I was very sick, and I don't know why, but I thought this would be a great way to occupy my mind. So whilst I spent days upon days breeding and hatching eggs, this happened. Oh my god, oh, I can see under the map. Where did Diglett go? Sorry guys, I've solved the age-old question. There is nothing under Diglett. Wait. That's it! Oh my god, yes, finally! Oh my god! Yay, I got it! Oh my god, there we go. A shiny male Sprigatito named Curo. Overgrow, special defense down, defense up. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible, we can definitely work with that. Oh yeah, just quickly, I wanted to thank you guys for 100 likes on the last video. If we can get another 100 likes on this video, the top comment on this video will be the next color theme for our next shiny hunting video. Although I'm pleased that I got Sprigatito fairly quickly, it doesn't really address the elephant in the room, and that's that the first gym leader is Katie, a bug type user. So I went to Mesagoza and picked up a Salisbury Steak, which increases our flying type encounters, and then headed to the beach. I really wanted to get myself a shiny Wingull, but this game had other ideas. Fine. Let's see how it is. Fine. No, it's fine. I'm not angry, not upset, not mad. So I was having a hard time being able to tell if Wingull was shiny or if it wasn't because of how far the render distance was and because I can't swim on Koraidon yet. So I thought, screw it, let's go for an explore around the map and see what happens. And this happens. Oh god damn it, where were you in the last video? It's alright guys, because things start going my way. I mean, kind of. Yes, let's go. And it's at the level cap. That is perfect. So welcome Alvida the shiny Skiddo to the team. She has an attack down but speed up nature, which isn't terrible, but most importantly, she has the ability Sap Sipper, which is not going to be helpful for this gym, but for the next gym, it's going to be absolutely crucial. I noticed that Mankey was spawning a lot near the first gym, and I thought, well, this could be a really good addition to the team. So I made a level 1 fighting encounter sandwich and got to hunting. Oh my god, there it is. Yes. That is so obvious as well. I didn't think I'd be able to notice it, but there we go. Shiny Mankey. Level 15 too. Oh my god, that's perfect. It is also at the level cap. Alright, here we go. Nami the shiny Mankey. Let's have a look at her then. Special defense down, speed up. That's not bad. We can always get a mint if we need to. Anger point. The Pokemon is angered when it takes a critical hit. That maxes its attack stat. That is incredible. I decided to head down to Mesagoza to Delibird Presence and pick up a muscle band. This will then increase the physical attacks of any of my Pokemon. And whilst I'm at it, I decided to give Mankey the Adamant Mint. And what that does is it makes it an Adamant nature, boosting its attack but lowering its special attack. And now we're ready for Gym 1. Alright, Katie the first gym leader. She sends out Nimble first and we send out Nami. We Terrastallize on the first turn and I'm pretty confused why I did that because we're not using any fighting type moves, but be that as it may, we do go for Bulk Up, which increases our attack and our defense. Nimble then hits a double kick, taking us down to 31 HP, and on the following turn we Bulk Up again as Nimble also goes for another double kick. But it can't survive for long as we go for a Covet, taking it down in one hit. Tarantula comes out next and survives a Covet in the red and hits back with a Bug Bite, taking us down to 21 HP. But Tarantula can't prevent the inevitable and goes down to another Covet on the following turn. Katie's ace Teddiursa comes out and Terrastalizes it into a bug type, and we go for a Covet, taking it down to about half. It then goes for Fury Swipes but misses, meaning we can take it out on the following turn with one more Covet, winning us Gym Badge number 1. Before we can do anything else, I decide that it's time for Curo to evolve into a Florigato. It's now time to take on the Stony Cliff Titan Clorf. We send out Nami and Terastallize, and then we get hit by a Vice Grip down to 17 HP. But after one single Terra boosted low kick, that's the first phase down. Cloth then runs away to have its lunch, but Arvin's getting a massive case of the FOMOs. So he joins us in a battle, we Terastallize, and then Cloth goes for a block, meaning we cannot switch out. We then go for a low kick, taking it down to half. On the following turn, Cloth then goes for block on Shelder, meaning it can't switch out either. But after one more low kick, that is the Stony Cliff Titan down. So I have a strategy for taking on Brassius, but to do so I have to go all the way to Medali and pick up the leftovers for Alvida the Skiddo. Now that we have that, let's take him on. Okay, so time for gym number 2 against Brassius. He sends out Petalil and we send out Alvida. We Terastallize and then go for Tail Whips, as Petalil then goes for its only move, Mega Drain, which activates Sap Sipper, which increases our attack. So we do this until we're at +6 and then manage to take Petalil down with a tackle. Smoliv then comes in next and we hit it with a tackle but only take it down to a quarter, as it hits back with its own tackle, leaving us on 42 HP before the leftovers. We then protect so we can get another ton of leftovers so we can be closer to full HP by the time Sudowoodo comes in, and then one more tackle takes Smoliv down. Sudowoodo then comes in next and Terastallizes into a grass type. We go for a few tail whips as it hits Alvida with a few rock throws before we have to switch out. We then switch into Kuro, who takes a rock throw extremely well. On the following turn goes for a Hone Claws, increasing our attack and accuracy. A Trailblaze from Sudowoodo then hits Kuro down to 26 HP before its Oran Berry, which means on the next turn, we can go for an Aerial Ace, taking Sudowoodo down to the yellow. A Trailblaze then hits Kuro down to 27 HP, but increases its speed, meaning on the next turn it outspeeds and hits us with a Rock Throw down to 9 HP, but Kuro is a beast and takes Sudowoodo down with one more Aerial Ace, winning us gym badge number 2. With the Bird Titan coming up next, I started to run around Paldea to try and find a good counter for it, and actually ended up running into a shiny Scyther, who we named Zoro. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Technician, but it does have the ability Swarm. My next plan was to go and find a shiny Eevee that we could evolve into a shiny Jolteon, but after days of hunting, the only thing I did find was this shiny Starly. But it's not all bad news, we did end up finding a shiny Marill, which I named Kaya, with the ability Huge Power, which is absolutely amazing, and it has the Terra Fairy type, which is going to be super handy against this dark type Pokemon. Now this Titan may be arguably the hardest in this whole game because you cannot heal between the phases. We start off by sending in Kaya, who Terastallizes it and then gets hit by a rock throw down to just above half, but we manage to get some HP back by going for a stab Terra boosted Draining Kiss, leaving Bombardier on just above half. A wing attack on the next turn takes Kaya down to 22 HP, but we manage to regain some HP back using Draining Kiss again, taking us back up to 43 HP. A rock throw on the next turn then takes Kaya down to 17 HP before we can knock it out of the first phase with a Draining Kiss. We interrupt Bombardier's lunch as Arvin wants to fight the Open Sky Titan as well. So we send in Kaya again and Terastallize as Bombardier goes for a Torment on the Nacli, which is super handy as we are super low on HP as it is, so a Draining Kiss, which takes Bombardier down to above half, is really helpful for us in this situation. Nacli then hits a rock throw, taking Bombardier below half, and then on the following turn, Bombardier hits Kaya down to 10 HP with a wing attack, but a Draining Kiss still doesn't manage to take it out and leaves Bombardier on a slither as Nacli takes Bombardier down with a smackdown. This is your victory, Arvin. Credit to you, mate. The fighting isn't over yet as we have to take on the first of the Team Star bases, and this is Yakumo's team. We have a Pawniard out first, so we send in Nami the shiny Mankey. Oh gosh, she looks so cool. We go for a Brick Break and take it out in one fell swoop. Then comes in the Starmobile. The Starmobile instantly lowers our attack with its Intimidate ability, so we Terastallize and then go for a Bulk Up, which raises our attack and defense, but not before we get hit by a Wicked Talk down to 30 HP. The Starmobile then hits us with a Swift down to 17 HP, but we can counter back with a Brick Break, leaving the Starmobile with just above half. We then switch into Kaya, who gets hit by a Wicked Talk down to 52 HP, and then a Metal Sound on the following turn, dropping our special defense. We then go for a Play Rough, but of course if it's not 100% accuracy, it's 0% accuracy and we miss the Play Rough. We then get hit by a Swift down to 22 HP, which means Kaya's low, but before we switch her out, we can get a Play Rough in, taking the Starmobile down to just under half. We then switch in Zoro, who gets hit by a Swift on entry, but takes it really well. Another wicked talk from the Starmobile leaves Zoro on 39 HP as we go for a Pounce, which not only lowers its HP, but lowers its speed as well. Another wicked talk gets tanked by Zoro as we finish it off with one more Pounce, winning us the first battle in the Team Starbase saga. Before we take on the third gym, we add a new member to our team, a shiny Grimer, which I call Usopp, which has a special attack down and speed up nature, but also has the lunchtime mark. So this is Usopp the Peckish. I'm so happy we got a marked shiny in this run. Hopefully Usopp can help us out in this third gym. Speaking of which, let's get on with it. Iono, the third gym leader, is up next, and she sends out her Wattrel as we send out the newly added Usopp the Peckish. Wattrel goes for a spark and paralyzes Usopp on its first hit. But because Usopp's a legend, it breaks through paralysis and takes Wattrel down with a rock slide in one hit. Bellybolt is sent in next and we get hit by a spark down to the yellow, and we also get fully paralyzed, meaning we can't attack that turn. So we switch into Kuro, who takes a spark on entry. On the following turn, we go for a C-bomb, getting Bellybolt to just above half, but then activate Electromorphosis, which actually powers up its next electric type move, making Spark do massive damage, taking us down to the yellow, and just to add insult to injury, it was a critical hit as well. Another critical hit Spark takes us down to 11 HP, and Kuro then gets fully paralyzed. Oh my god, what is our luck? So we send in Alvida to take a Spark, and she takes it very well. We then heal out using leftovers, and then on the following turn go for a Razor Leaf, not doing massive damage, but doing a bit of chip damage to just under half. But this also activates Electromorphosis, which means Spark is going to do extra damage. We then get paralyzed as well, but because Alvida loves us, she breaks out of paralysis at the end of the turn and then heals herself with leftovers again. Another Razor Leaf takes Bellybolt to about a quarter, but because it activates Electromorphosis, another Spark takes Alvida down to the red. Because I can't see a clean switch in here, we do end up staying in with Alvida and going for another Razor Leaf, getting Bellybolt to the red, but it doesn't do enough to take it out, and unfortunately Alvida does go down, meaning this is the first death in our run. We switch into Zoro and then Terastallize, so we are fully bug type, and then go for a Fury Cutter, taking Bellybolt down. Luxio is in next and intimidates us, but it doesn't matter as we go for another Fury Cutter, getting Luxio down to the yellow. We then manage to avoid a spark from Luxio, meaning on the following turn we can take it out with another Fury Cutter. Cool thing about Fury Cutter is the more we use it consistently, the more damage it does. Miss Magius then comes in and Terastallizes and then goes for a Confuse Ray. If we get hit, this could be big damage. But luckily, Zoro is an absolute legend, breaks through and takes Miss Magius down in one hit with a Fury Cutter. And this wins us Gym Badge number 3. Sorry Alvida, you done a great amount of work in this fight and you will be missed. With an opening now on the team, I go and hunt for a shiny Chewtle, which I catch and name Nico. She has a special attack down and speed up nature, but also has a rare mark. This makes her Nico the Recluse, which is so weird considering, you know, Usopp also had a mark. We evolve Nico straight away from a Chewtle all the way up into a powerful Dreadnought, just in time for the next Team Starbase. Before I take on Mela, I do go and pick up the TM for Rain Dance, which I do end up teaching to Kaya. Alright, let's keep this short and simple. Mela sends out Torkoal and we send out Kaya. We go for a Rain Dance to counter the Torkoal's drought, go for an Aqua Tail and take Torkoal low, and then switch into Nico and Terastallize, hit a Razor Shell, take Torkoal down, and then 2 Razor Shells later, the Reverie goes down as well. This was definitely one of our easiest fights yet. Before we even think about taking on the 4th gym, I head over to Delibird Presents and pick up a Metal Coat, give it to Zoro, and then trade it, and we get a nice and powerful Sizzle. With Sizzle now on our team, we can actually take on the 4th gym, and the gym leader's running away. I didn't realize I was that intimidating. He actually leaves his wallet behind, so we do have to chase after him and give it back. We end up giving him the wallet, but before we can take him on, Naomi evolves into a nice and powerful Primeape. Kofu, the water gym leader, is up next and he sends out Veluza first and we send out Zoro. Veluza goes for an Aqua Cutter, doing soft damage on Zoro, and then we hit 2 Fury Cutters, taking the Veluza down. Bugtrio is out next and hits us with a Water Pulse, but we take it out in one hit with a Fury Cutter, but also get our speed lowered thanks to its ability Gooey. Crabominable is in next, so we switch into Kaya, and Crabominable Terastallizes and then goes for a Crab Hammer, but Kaya avoids the hit. She then goes for a few charms, lowering Crabominable's attack harshly, and then takes a few slams before Kuro tags in and hits a Seed Bomb, leaving it on next to nothing. Crabominable then misses its last move as we finish it with an Aerial Ace, winning us Gym Badge number 4. Hiya! Texas Flash! So anyone who's played Scarlet and Violet know how to get around Atticus. He sends out his Skuntank, and this is the perfect opportunity to set up because it only has Sucker Punch and Toxic, and a Poison type move, I think. So we go for Sword Stance 3 times and then Iron Defense twice, which maxes out our attack stat and then raises our defense stat by 4 stages. But then by the end of it, we have a +6 on attack Scizor that one-shots the Skuntank. Then out comes Reverum and hits us with a Bulldoze, but because we raised our defense with Iron Defense, it does next to nothing. So after an Iron Head and a Bullet Punch, Reverum goes down. In next is Muck, and Scizor avoids the Mud Slap with ease and then takes it down with 1 Iron Head. Last in is the Starmobile, and even though it uses a quad effective Flame Charge twice, it still does next to nothing, and we're left with over half of our HP by the time we take it down with 2 Iron Heads. And there we go, that is the Poison Team Starbase taken care of. It's now time for everyone's favourite gym leader, Larry. He starts off by sending in a Kamala and we send in Nami the Primate. We Terastallize and then go for a Brick Break, taking Kamala out in 1 hit. Next in is the Dunsparce and we do the exact same, but this time we get a critical hit, taking the Dunsparce down with ease. Last in is Larry's ace, the Terastallizing Staraptor. It Terastallizes and then goes for an Aerial Ace, taking Nami down to 1 HP. And the only reason she survived? Because she didn't want us to feel sad. Wow, what a legend. We then end up missing our Cross Chop. So we switch out into Nico, and after 2 Razor Shells, Staraptor goes down, and that is the 5th badge obtained. Do you remember earlier on in the video when I said I was looking for a shiny Eevee, but I couldn't find it? Well, I went back for it. Oh my god, there it is. I've been looking for you for so long. Oh my god, your tail disappeared. What the hell? I've been looking for this Pokemon for so long. And there we go, we finally got Sanji, the shiny Eevee, with the attack down, speed up nature, which is perfect. So there's no time like the present, let's evolve it into this beautiful looking Jolteon. And thanks to the new level cap, Kuro and Usopp both decide they want to evolve into a Meowscarada and a Muck. Now it's time to take on Rhyme. Gym leader number 6 is Rhyme, and she has Ghost types, and it is also done in a doubles format. She starts with Mimikyu and Bayonet, and we start with Nico and Usopp. Usopp gets doubled in on with a Sucker Punch and a Slash, but tanks it very well. And then Nico hits a Crunch on the Bayonet, taking it down to the red. Usopp then hits a Sludge Wave, taking Bayonet down, and also breaking Mimikyu's disguise. Houndstone is then in next, and Mimikyu goes for a Shadow Sneak on the following turn, hitting Nico down to 86 HP. Nico then counters back with a Crunch, taking Mimikyu down to about a quarter. Houndstone then goes for Phantom Force and disappears, and to my surprise, Usopp's Toxic actually hits it, even though it's not on the field, which I find really weird, but alright then. We then switch out Nico for Kuro, and then Mimikyu hits a Slash on Usopp, taking it down to 52 HP. The Phantom Force hits Kuro, but Kuro takes it extremely well, and then Usopp goes for a Hex, taking Houndstone down in 1 hit. Rhyme's last Pokemon is Toxtricity, and we switch out Usopp for Sanji. We then Terastallize Kuro, so it is now a pure Grass type. Rhyme then Terastallizes Toxtricity as well. Mimikyu hits a Slash, but we take it extremely well before a Night Slash takes Toxtricity down in 1 hit. The following turn, Sanji then finishes Mimikyu off with a Thunderbolt, winning us Gym Badge number 6. I want to say the Quaking Earth Titan was an exciting battle, but then I'd be lying. Honestly, we Terastallized Kuro and then just Flower Tricked, and that's the battle. Moving on to Gym 7. We're doing really well. We haven't lost a Pokemon since Gym 3, and that's not changing here. We send out Kuro and then go for 3 Hone Claws, raising our attack and our accuracy stats. As Tulip's Farigiraf goes for a few crunches, not getting us too low, still above half, and then we just Flower Trick. We one-shot the Farigiraf, one-shot Gardevoir, one-shot Espathra, and even one-shot Tulip's Ace Florigis. And that is the penultimate Gym Badge. Did you know Jolteon isn't the only green evolution in its family? That's right. Espeon here is also a green shiny, and it is an awesome Pokemon. We catch it and my fiance has named it Buggy. Honestly, if you haven't gotten a nickname theme at this point, you need to culture yourself. But it is a quirky nature, and now let's go take on the last gym. Last gym leader is Grusha, the Ice type user, and he starts off by sending in Frostmoth as we send in Zoro. My plan here is to go for Sword Stance and get as strong as we can, and we managed to get 3 Sword Stance up whilst Frostmoth was able to get off 2 Blizzards and a Tailwind, which will boost its whole team's speed. But eventually we are able to take it out with a single Bullet Punch. Beartic faces the same fate, and then when Sir Titan comes in, I forget about the Tailwind, and and then go for an Iron Head, but do get hit by a liquidation first, and we do survive. Zoro is an absolute beast and takes the Titan down with an Iron Head. And now I'm not sure if this is down to stupidity or bravery, but we decide to stay in against the Altaria. And regardless of what it was, it worked. I go for a bullet punch and one-shot the Altaria, winning us the final gym badge. Now Grush has been dealt with, it is time for the final Titan. So we use Sanji to deal with Dondozo with a few Thunderbolts, and then phase 2 is pretty much the same, but this time we mix it up and get Kuro involved and Terrastalize, and then go for a few flower tricks, taking Dondozo down. But that is not the end of it. It is then time for Tatsugiri. We start by terrestrializing Kuro and then going for a play rough on Tatsugiri, but it then counters back with an Icy Wind doing an incredible amount of damage. I didn't realize how strong this Pokemon is, but hey, there we go. We then switch out into Zoro. Zoro avoids the Icy Wind, and then on the following turn, Tatsugiri goes for a Muddy Water, hitting Zoro down to 66 HP and taking out Arvin's Greedent. To add insult to injury, the Iron Head doesn't do much damage at all. So we switch into Nico and get hit by a Dragon Pulse all the way down to 48 HP. We go for a Protect to be able to scout out what Tatsugiri's going to do, and it goes for another Muddy Water. With that knowledge in mind, we switch into Usopp, but Tatsugiri goes for a Taunt, which Usopp avoids. It then goes for an Icy Wind, which hits Usopp down to 131 HP, and then we go for a Toxic, poisoning Tatsugiri. On the following turn, Tatsugiri goes for Muddy Water and hits us down to 60 HP, but we counter back with Hex, and it really doesn't do as much as I thought, even with a crit. The following turn, Usopp gets hit down to 35 HP by an Icy Wind, but it counts back with a Sludge Wave, which doesn't quite take it out, even after the poison. We need to be able to switch out into someone who can take a hit. And the only Pokemon I think can take a hit is Buggy. And he does. We switch in, it tanks a Muddy Water, and then the poison takes Tatsugiri down, winning us the fight against the final Titan. It's now time to take on Ortega, and Ortega starts off by sending in Azumarill as we send in Zoro. We go for a Sword Stance to boost our attack, but Azumarill has other ideas and then lowers our attack back down to base with a Charm. But the next turn we go for another Sword Stance as Azumarill hits us with an Aqua Tail, doing quite a lot of damage. But on the following turn we hit an Iron Head, taking Azumarill down in one hit. Dashbun then comes out next and goes for a Crunch, taking Zoro down to 57 HP, but another Iron Head takes Dashbun down as well. Out next is Wigglytuff, and one single Iron Head takes the big wiggly thing down. Last in is the Starmobile, and because Zoro is under half HP, we swap into Usopp, who takes a Magical Talk on entry, which does next to nothing, especially with the Black Sludge attached. Next time we Terrastalize and take a Steel Roller before we can get off a Sludge Wave, taking the Starmobile to above half. On the following turn, the Starmobile goes for Confuse Ray, but Usopp avoids it and then goes for a Sludge Wave, leaving it on a fraction. And then we rinse and repeat and avoid another Confuse Ray on the following turn and finish it off with one more Sludge Wave. Eri is the last member of Team Star that we have to take on, and similar to Atticus, we're gonna rinse and repeat the style, but this time Buggy's in the limelight. We Terrastalize and then go for 5 Calm Minds, which avoids getting hit by Sucker Punch from Toxicroak, and this also raises our special attack and our special defense, and then we one-shot absolutely everything. Toxicroak, Lucario, Annihilate, Plasmizion, and then for the first time in this whole video, we one-shot a Starmobile. Wow, that was actually so easy. Maybe we shouldn't be using setup moves. But with that being done, the next challenge is the Elite Four. Rika is the first member of the Elite Four and uses ground types. She starts off by sending in Whiscash as we send in Kuro. We Terrastalize turn 1 and then one-shot the Whiscash with a Flower Trick. In comes Camerupt and we switch into Nico, who takes a Fire Blast really well on entry, and then the following turn we one-shot it with a Liquidation. Donphan then comes in next and we go for a Liquidation and don't quite take it out, meaning Nico has to take an Earthquake but avoids it due to our friendship, which I do think is an unfair mechanic and it shouldn't be in the game, but is what it is. We switch into Kuro and then take an Earthquake on entry, but the next turn we take Donphan out with a Flower Trick. Next in is Dugtrio and it also gets one shot by Flower Trick. Last in is Rika's ace, Clodsire, and it Terrastalizes into a pure ground type and you know the story, one shot by Flower Trick. And that is the first of the Elite Four down. The next Elite Four member is by far the youngest, and that is Poppy, the Steel type user. She starts off by sending in Copperaja as we send in Kuro. We go for a low kick and one-shot the massive steel elephant. Next in is Corviknight, so we switch into Nico. Nico takes a Brave Bird on entry and tanks it pretty well. We then go for a liquidation, getting Corviknight to just above half and lowering its defense as it counters back with a body press, taking us down to 85 HP. An Ice Spinner doesn't quite take it out as it takes it down to about a quarter, and then one more body press takes Nico down to 21 HP. But one last Ice Spinner and the big steel bird goes down. Next in is Bronzong, so we switch back into Kuro and take an Earthquake on entry, tank it fairly well, and then go for a Night Slash on the following turn, but don't quite take Bronzong out. An Iron Head gets Kuro all the way down to 39 HP before our final Night Slash takes Bronzong out. Next in is Magnezone, and it goes for a Flash Cannon as we switch into Nami, taking us down to 69 HP. Nice. But because I'm an idiot, we go for close combat, forgetting that Magnezone has Sturdy and it survives on 1 HP. Nami survives the next Flash Cannon on 1 HP because she toughed it out because she didn't want us to be sad. So one more Brick Break and Magnezone goes down. Last in is the Terastallizing Tinkaton. It terastallizes into a pure steel type and goes for Play Rough, but doesn't take Nami out because it still toughs it out, not wanting us to be sad. I don't think that's quite fair. But one close combat takes Tinkaton down. I am going to box Nami after this because technically she should have died at least twice, so no more Nami. But she did get us through the second battle of the Elite Four. The third of the Elite Four is the hardest working man in all of Paldea, Larry. He starts off by sending in Tropius as we send in Nico. Nico goes for an Ice Spinner and takes the Banana Dragon down in 1 hit. Next in is Staraptor, and it goes for a close combat, taking Nico down to 41 HP and lowering its own defense and special defense. We go for a Rock Tomb and it doesn't quite take it out, leaving Staraptor in the yellow. So with Nico weak, we switch into Makino. Oh yeah, did you not know? After we beat Aerie, I found a shiny Dratini and I thought, well, I can't use Dratini because it's pink. If you want to see more pink shinies, you should definitely check out the last shiny only video I did. It was so awesome and it took me so long to do. It would mean a ton if you can go check that video out. But we do end up evolving Dratini all the way up into a Dragonite, which is a nice and beautiful green. Let's get back to the fight. Staraptor goes for Brave Bird, taking Makino quite low, but on the following turn, we outspeed and Thunder Punch Staraptor into an early grave. Altaria is out next and we switch into Usopp, and after toxicking it and taking a few Ice Beams and Dragon Pulses, we managed to take Altaria down with a few Rock Slides. Next in is Oricorio, and it goes for a Revelation Dance on Usopp, taking it down to 26 HP, as a Rock Slide leaves Oricorio on a quarter. We then switch into Sanji on a Revelation Dance and absorb it thanks to Volt Absorb, and then take it out with a single Thunderbolt. Last in is Flamigo, and it terastallizes into a pure Flying type, meaning Sanji can take it out with 1 Thunderbolt. Now we only have Hassel to deal with. Hassel uses Dragon type Pokemon, and these are not to be taken lightly. He starts off by sending in Noivern as we send in Nico. Noivern outspeeds and goes for a Super Fang, taking us instantly down to half, and then we counter back with an Ice Spinner, taking Noivern down in 1 hit. In next is Flapple, and it faces the same fate as it goes down to a single Ice Spinner. Next in is Dragalge, so we switch into Sanji, who absorbs a Thunderbolt on entry. We then go for a Thunder Wave, but end up missing as Dragalge counters back with a Sludge Bomb, taking Sanji low. Sanji then manages to get a Thunder Wave off and avoids the incoming Sludge Bomb. We go for a Thunderbolt, but do next to nothing, as the Sludge Bomb then takes Sanji down to 14 HP. We switch into Buggy, who manages to tank a Sludge Bomb fairly well, even after a crit. We then go for a Psychic on the following turn, taking Dragalge down. I then decide to keep Buggy in and go for a Dazzling Gleam on Haxorus, but unfortunately it doesn't quite take it out and it goes down to a Crunch. Makino then comes in and terastallizes into a pure Dragon type and then goes for an Extreme Speed, taking Haxorus down. The last Pokemon in is Baxcalibur, and it terastallizes into a pure Dragon type and then goes for Icicle Crash, but ends up missing, and Makino can go for a Stab, Terra Boosted, critical hitting Outrage, taking Baxcalibur down. I really thought we were going to make it through the Elite Four without any deaths, but unfortunately Buggy didn't get the memo. Let's take on Gita. The champion starts off the battle with his Spathra and we send in Kuro. We go for a Night Slash turn 1 and take it out in 1 hit. Next in is Go-Go, and we stay in and go for a Night Slash, not doing much as Go-Go goes for a Bulk Up, increasing its attack and its defense. On the following turn, we swap into Usopp, who avoids a Play Rough on entry. The next turn, Go-Go goes for a Zen Headbutt, taking Usopp down to 72 HP, and then we go for a Flamethrower, barely not taking Go-Go out. On the following turn, Go-Go goes for another Zen Headbutt, but ends up missing, and we go for a Sludge Wave, taking Go-Go down. Avalugg is out next, and we go for a Flamethrower, flamethrower and we get it down to about a quarter of its HP, but Avalugg flinches thanks to our ability Stench. One more flamethrower takes the big iceberg down. King Gambit has out next and we go for a flamethrower and get it to above half. But unfortunately that isn't enough as one more Zen Headbutt from King Gambit takes Usopp down. Next in is Sanji and we go for a Thunderbolt taking King Gambit down in one hit. Oh, and Veluza is out next and one more Thunderbolt also fries this little fish. Last in is Gita's ace, Glamora. We switch into Kuro on an Earth Power and take it fairly well. We Terrastallize and one last Flower Trick takes out Glamora, winning us the champion title. With Usopp leaving the crew early, I forgot to mention that before we even entered the Elite Four, I came across a shiny Teddy Ursa. I catch him and name him Shanks and he has the angry mark. I think this is so cool considering this is going to be the last shiny of this run. The mark's kind of fitting considering it's angry that we left it to last. But we fight our way through Arvin, Nimona, Clive and Penny, and now all we have left is AI Sada. Let's get it! AI Sada starts off the fight with a Slitherwing as we send out Makino the Dragonite. Slitherwing goes for a lunge, lowering our attack and our HP as we go for Hurricane and miss. Come on, this is the last battle, we can't be missing now. Slitherwing then goes for a Zen Headbutt, taking us down to about half, and Makino finally hits that Hurricane, taking Slitherwing down in one hit. Out comes Screamtail, so we switch into Zoro. Screamtail goes for an Ice Punch but misses, then Screamtail goes for a few Drain Punches as we go for Sword Stance before it gets taken out by an Iron Head. Next in is Fluttermane, and Fluttermane goes for a Mystical Fire on Zoro, unfortunately taking it out. I didn't remember that Fluttermane had that move and I'm really sad that Zoro went down. So we send in Sanji and go for a Shadow Ball, getting Fluttermane down to just under half, as Fluttermane counters back with its own Shadow Ball. But one more Shadow Ball from Sanji takes Fluttermane down. Brute Bonnet comes out next and we switch into Shanks. We switch in on a Sucker Punch, which means we don't get hit that turn luckily, and then Shanks goes for a Play Rough, taking Brute Bonnet to just under half. Brute Bonnet then responds with Payback, taking us down to 55 HP, so we go for another Play Rough but get out prioritized and Sucker Punch takes Shanks down. Sorry Shanks, you have every right to be furious at this point. So we send in Kuro. Kuro goes for a Play Rough, taking Brute Bonnet down. Then in comes Sandy Shocks and one Flower Trick later and Sandy Shocks is dealt with, meaning there is only one Pokemon that stands in our way. Roaring Moon. And what's even worse is it has its booster energy to give it an increase in its attack stat, which is terrifying. It goes for Dragon Claw and leaves Kuro on 4 HP as Kuro responds with a Play Rough, taking Roaring Moon down and winning us the challenge. In some kind of poetic sense, we started this challenge with Kuro and we finished with it. If you made it this far into the video, then you must enjoy my content. So be sure to check out these videos on screen now and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.